I never have time to do anything as far as research and stuff like that, except when I'm working, and I'm always working on a job site or driving around. So I figured this might just be how it's going to have to be for a little bit, or for a long time, I don't know. Anyway, like I said in my last video, I just got into the whole George Webb thing now that it's practically over with, or maybe not, but I've only looked into it for a couple days, and it's like pretty obvious to me that George Webb and Jason Goodman, these guys are just like not who they say. They might be who they say they are, like in name and everything, but it just seems to me like they're not doing what people are under the assumption that they're doing. Like they're supposed to be these these heroes of the underground truth movement and all that stuff, but I don't understand. Just looking at this guy, George, he just looks like he's kind of always got that look in his eye, like a deer in the headlights, kind of like they're kind of always too wide open, and they're just kind of. So it just seems to me like, how can this be? And they're always like in a room doing videos and stuff, and doing chats or whatever. And I just thought, and I could be wrong, but I think that how could they be doing all this research and going all over the place and doing all this stuff, and they're, stuff like what happened to DeFango or whatever, just like people don't seem to actually be getting into their stuff. So that doesn't make any much sense to me. If I were actually in the position that they claim to be, I would probably be more on the down low. There might be a time for coming out publicly or on YouTube and stuff, but like every day for hours and hours, it just doesn't really add up. So another thing I thought of was, I've got some family in law enforcement, got some family that are into polygraphs for the police and stuff like that. And I've actually gone through some police training in my past. Never was a cop, but went through some training and everything. And they would always tell us, and my family members too, to be skeptical of people and kind of assume that, you have that badge on or that uniform. Assume people are going to lie to you, and just be skeptical. And that's okay. It's healthy. You don't want to take it too far and have it become like a us against them mentality. And if it seeps into your family, I mean, there's just a balance. Okay. So I seem to have always kind of had that about, well, is this guy legit? Maybe he's legit, maybe he's not, but let's ask a couple questions. Like Reagan said, trust but verify with Gorbachev. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not, but I gotta ask some questions. So, and really, it's just about turning your brain on and just asking the questions to yourself. Like, are these guys, do they have the wherewithal to do it? I mean, just looking at a couple of their videos, and I've only watched minimal, George Webb and Jason Goodman vids, like minimal. But they always look kind of disheveled, and like they're flopping around with the iPads, and they can't get the audio right, and stuff's falling over, and it's just like, what is going on? These guys are leading the charge against the big bad deep state. Are you kidding me? And I'm just looking at it from a 50,000 foot level, like this. If that's the case, we shouldn't be right behind them cheering them on, because I don't think they're really doing anything. And I just listened to this other video this morning about this guy who says that he talked to George Webb 3 weeks ago. I forgot his name. On the phone, he talked to him about something to do with Omaha. And he said, which is what I have heard with my own ears, George just talks about, he just like talks and talks and talks. It's like, he reminded me of, and he never gets to the point, he reminded me of how sports players in front of the press conference, people will say to them, well, what was your strategy, or and they always talk about, well, we played a good game, both teams played hard, we'll come out and get them next time if they lost, or we executed what we wanted to do. It's just like a bunch of garbage, and like Derek Jeter is great at that, or Tom Brady. I mean, you just pick the top stars. These guys will come out and talk for 15 minutes and they won't say anything. They'll just be like, yeah, this and that, and it's just blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, it's over with, and they really didn't give you any information. And so it always just seems to me that these guys, they can just have like, just minutes and minutes and hours of just nothing. And so what does that do? Well, I don't know how many followers or subs George Webb has, or Goodman, or whatever. But it's got to be thousands, like tens of thousands, I think. What does that do? If you just beat around the bush all day long, it takes up the time of all these people who have good hearts and they want to get to the bottom of real things, but they're just wasting time listening to this person just flap his gums about nothing, and they'll put little morsels in there here and there, and they'll try to connect a couple dots, and then it's just a bunch of just garbage back and forth, and it's just like on a merry-go-round. So he's been online for like 200, who knows how many days, 240 days or something. And what do we have to show for it? I don't know, because thank God I've only been watching it for like 2 days, but it's just like, really? Who could be strung along by this for more than a week? See, that for someone who can actually think about what's going on, like if you strung me out on that kind of thing, like what he's doing, just saying he's running in circles. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong. I could be off because I've only been in it for a couple days, like I said. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But if this is how it has been for the last 8 months, dude, like it's not going to end unless they're just dancing around. So my plea is just for people to, if you are all up in the George Webb thing and a follower and stuff, like please think critically about just the whole situation. Take a step back and think like what should, if I was in that position, what would I be doing? Or would I be frustrated because nothing's really coming of it? Or does this just look fake? Does it look real? I mean, use your brain and just plug it in, because critical thought, we need more of that. We need more discernment, not only in this kind of thing, but this is real life for a lot of people who've been affected by people that lie to them all the time, in their family, in their places of business, or wherever. And it's just going to help. We've been lulled to sleep for so many years and decades by the media and the TV, and it's just like we think things that are important that aren't important. And what is important is to be able to think clearly, have get right with the Lord, and understand who you are, what your purpose is in life, and just be able to think. We don't want to be zombies, please. I mean, I think it's just so good to wake up. And once you wake up, there's no way you can go back to sleep. But just always think critically. Use your brain. Use your mind. Ask questions, because there's so many people out there. Like, again, back to the police training. They're lying to us, and they have their own agendas, and it's just pretty sad that not enough people. I think more are waking up now, but I think it's just sad that there's still so many that just refuse to wake up. You could slap them across the face with truth, and they don't want to hear it. They like being asleep. They like having the Matrix around them, and they love it. And so I guess that's fine, but it's not fine for me. So please just plug it in, plug your brain and use it. Ask questions, think about things more. And I think if things become clear, you don't need someone else to tell you that something's just like Nathan from Lifting the Veil said, you don't need someone to tell you that something's just a big bologna sandwich. I mean, you can figure it out for yourself. Just think about it. Have faith in your own mind. And so, yeah, that's all. Just something to think about, guys. But hopefully we can kind of clear our minds of this thing and just understand this isn't really real. It's just kind of a game, and people are just dragging people along for the ride. Whoever will come like a Pied Piper, and I'm not going to do that. So I want the truth, but I want it righteously. And I mean, Jesus Christ is the only truth, ultimately. And so it's just based on that. If you can, just pray about it and say, ask God to help you understand, and He'll do it, because He is truth. So God bless everybody. We'll talk to you soon.